Welcome to Copa America, ladies and gentlemen. This is the finals day. All the finals from each of the qualifiers so far have led up into this. There's a best of three, best of three, best of three, and another best of three to cap it all off. For now, though, in our very first best of three of the night, spawning here in the top right corner of the map, an easy breezy, beautiful red Terran named Windy, better known as Major.
Is he easy breezy cover girl?
I was kind of going for that, you know, Windy, the whole, whatever.
In the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, it is JonSnow.
JonSnow. JonSnow's actually a pretty fantastic player. If we're going to be honest, though, coming into this series blindly, I think a lot of people are going to be favoring Major, who is looking to 2-racks, maybe? It's really...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Gosh, how many times are we going to see 2-racks on this map today?
Well, you know, we complained once about how no one does the 2-racks on these new maps, and suddenly all the Terrans were like, oh.
It's karma, they hurt us. I was going to say, JonSnow is a fantastic player, but if there's one thing he's pretty notorious about, it's not scouting. A lot of the guys who once upon a time were on Team Ascension, I don't know what it is, it's stuck with them, because none of them, Reborn, JonSnow, No Regret rather, none of them really are quite avid about scouting, and I don't know if Major knows this going into this, but it's going to definitely pay off for him. I mean, the thing is, for the drone scout, you don't even have to scout the 2-racks themselves, but if you go across the map and scout no racks in base, you know it's going to be a 2-racks. And JonSnow going hatchery first, this doesn't necessarily screw him right out of the game, but it puts him in the worst possible starting position.
Yeah. I mean, this is why we see so many Zergs are going for the drone scout, is because they specifically want to see if it's a 2-rack. So they're not checking gas, they're not checking the command center timing, they're checking, do you have that barracks in your base? Okay, I can leave now.
Yeah. Well, JonSnow, he at least went pull before gas. I'm going to take that back. Who is it? We were casting somebody that actually lost that first Overlord. You remember that? So it's like, not only was it like a cheese, but it was like the Overlord went down too. Or was that Cannons? I'm trying to remember what that was.
I don't know.
We cast so much, it doesn't. Things get mixed, but this is really important. Major's put the first bunker a little further back, guys. This is meant to guard against this drone pull that's happening right now. Second bunker will come down within range of the hatchery, but oftentimes the best way to defeat this is you pull drones and you cut the Marines down before they can get to anything nearby. In this case, in this instance, they have a fallback. Now, lots of SCVs were pulled with this. But no extra bunker coming down just yet because he doesn't have the money for it. There we go. Slam down. Spike car coming up. Actually will get focused down by the SCVs as combined with the Marines. There's a lot of DPS here. Well, just tittering back and forth for the time being, looking for that one engagement. I do like that he moved the spine crawler, but at the same time, keeping this alive is going to be pretty difficult. That bunker will finish. But JonSnow needs to not panic in this scenario. Gets on top a couple of the Marines. Decent connects, but it's going to cost him.
Yeah. I was kind of like, I hope maybe I can like surround the Marines and kill them all, but it's such a... that's a hopeful thing to hope right there.
That's one way to phrase it, sure. The spine crawler will complete. Now, it's really important he doesn't give away this spine crawler. He's lost a lot of drones. He's lost a lot of lings. But not so much that he's out of the game just yet. Obviously, the goal here is to try and save the hatchery. But if he had just waited to engage with the spine crawler, I think he would have accomplished that goal. This is not going to be in range. Marine's going to pop out. He's going to dance with it. He needs lings to get on top of this. Queen gets focused down. 5 HP, backs away, barely alive. But I kind of think this hatchery's done for. That spine crawler went down in the worst possible position. A reposition to nowhere.
You see more than one bunker, so this doesn't look as scary as you would, I guess, usually see, but it still is scary. JonSnow wasted a lot of those lings on an attack. It didn't really do a whole lot for him. The Marines are still, like, just, like, even the ones that are without the bunker, there's just enough Marines to kite back these lings.
So now the big question for Major kind of comes into, like, how does he go off of this? We've seen some players rally home, we see some players get really aggressive and try to push up that ramp, and we've even seen some people just disengage and go for a different tech path. Mech to Muslim. But looks like Major is going to be getting a little bit aggressive here, and that's a lot of lings outside of the bunkers, but still, there's so many, there's just no way to engage this.
He's going to go up the ramp. He's looking to end it right here. I mean, actually, he's producing SCVs back at home, but I think he knows he can end it right here. The spine crawler does root down, but it is, it's dead. Like, takes a few Marines with it.
You know, it does take like a whole mentality shift to get into the mindset of constantly scouting in StarCraft 2. I mean, there's some things where you're like, you know what, whether I scouted this or not, I could have defended it if I'd seen it coming from a mile away. There's arguments that can be made for this or that, but I think the reality is this game in particular came down very heavily to not scouting.
Yeah, I think so as well. Major just takes potentially a quick 1-0, and the bunker, if the bunker finishes up there, yeah, okay, well, never mind.
I think the worst part about that was knowing that the spawning pool didn't have a chance to live. The spawning pool was going to go down. But GG's called on game number 1, and it's simply only game number 1 will go to Major. I've got his name listed here on the brackets as Windy, so I'm going to keep calling him Windy as far as that goes, but I think we but as far as the second game goes, I believe it's going to be on Frost. I know not who's hosting it, though. But for Copa America tonight, guys, the brackets are a little bit confusing to look at if you haven't been to the website before, so I'd like to guide you through them while we're waiting. First thing is, of course, you can type ! Brackets in chat, and Nightbot should link you to what's going on. Ignore what he says about the qualifier 4. I just haven't had time to update that. But going over to the browser here for a moment, guys. You'll notice it's the final matches we'll be casting tonight. So over here in the bottom middle, the most right match. Winners match and third place matches will be happening simultaneously. So right now, while Gem Rising, or no, this is qualifier 2. For qualifier 1, while Major and JonSnow go at it, Shakti and Fog are also fighting one another for placements. And over here for qualifier 2, so basically in 45 minutes-ish from now, we'll have Gem Rising versus Huck, or alternatively Wingian versus Gosu Dark. Followed up by qualifier number 3's finishers with B-Lord versus Ruff and Don't Panic versus Jarpy. And of course last night's qualifiers, which concluded, have the finals of Cats versus Cham and Sendo versus Darkness. So there's some pretty cool stuff lined up for the whole night tonight. It's, again, about 4 best of 3s, unless something gets delayed and we maybe have a 5th one. But these will lead all to the group stages, guys. How these seed in exactly, I don't know. Do you know exactly how these seed in, actually? I was looking at the information on the website, and I think it's just consecutively to A to B and C and G and such.
That sounds legit. I haven't actually looked into the Wikipedia article until since the first qualifier.
Fair enough. Well, regardless, guys, what we're doing tonight is setting the stage for the rest of the season, setting the stage for the entirety of Copa America. So while some of these games tonight matter a little bit less than others, seeding into your groups becomes very important. To determine how well you're going to succeed, you also have to kind of worry about how well other people are going to do in their groups. So for example, let's say you're JonSnow. Maybe your ZBT's a little bit weak, you can't handle 2 Rexes. Well, then maybe in the losers group, you actually end up getting paired up with a bunch of Protosses and Zergs, and you're in your happy zone. So I don't think there's anyone here who's strategically trying to lose, but it is important to note that there's going to be so many different group stages going on that it's really hard to determine who's going to be in which one. And there's not really that scenario that I just described, but it's more of like the happenstance, what ends up the result of it all. But we are in the lobby for game number 2, JonSnow versus Major on Frost. I like these guys. They always check to see if we're ready. It's weird, though, because no one else does, so we're not used to it. At any rate, Frost, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We'll see you in just a sec. Welcome back to Copa America. A bit awkward there. Get like whoa, like for everybody right now. You got the Oprah Winfrey lag going on. Everyone check under your seats. There's a little bit of lag. Wait, why is Major being classified as an observer? What is happening?
I'm looking at that too. What is going on?
Oh, the madness. We're getting battle netted. I don't know if that's what he meant, but that's what I'm going to read it as. Okay, they've paused the game. We just gonna give it a sec, but there's a pretty good chance.
What? What? Why did I get dragged into it?
Can you do me a favor, Zombie Girl, and get your shit together? Stop lagging a little bit here for the stream. Pardon me,
You
I
gave
didn't.
me lag, Oprah.
Yeah.
You're the only one not lagging. You didn't get your car. You didn't get your lag.
Yeah,
You get
it's
everyone
clearly
else.
the one guy who's not lagging is the one perpetrating it all. There's a very good chance it's just the BattleNet guys. There are times where we'll get games that act up. There's weird things and instances that happen, but they're saying go. I would honestly say just remake to be safe, but I guess they're happy with the outcome of the shenanigans. Cool. Well, let's pretend that nothing happened. Well, if this was a VOD, we'd cut it right there and we'd say, welcome to Copa America, everybody. This is game number 2. And absolutely nothing happened before me saying anything right now. I'm Rifkin, joined tonight by Zombie Grub here on the English stream. And rocking the first cast of the day in this best of 3, currently leading 1-0 in the top right corner of the map, is the Red Terran player Wendy, better known as Major.
The bottom left. As the blue Zerg, it is JonSnow.
Of course, it comes from the new team recently founded, Solaris Gaming. Not too shabby. They've got a pretty nice roster, and JonSnow's not a bad guy. It really sucks. I don't think that the 2 racks was a good representation to get a good feel for this guy. Like, if this was your first time seeing JonSnow, you watch that game, and you're like, ha, Zerg. Yeah, right. The thing is, though, I've had the pleasure of following this guy through a majority of his career. I've been on and off casting his games for about a year because he's competed in things like the Zotac Cups and the weeklies. And he's maybe probably not the biggest, the baddest, the craziest guy on North America, but JonSnow is definitely a talented player, and I do hope he'll get a chance to exercise and show that here in this game on Frost.
Well, he's doing something very aggressive here. He went for a gas first and then a pool. So things really, really quickly here. Possibly deny Major from his natural for a little bit. You know, force Major to really wait for those 6 Hellions to be absolutely safe against the amount of Lings that JonSnow will get. Or he's just looking to take advantage of, you know, the Reaper. if Major went for 3 Reapers, they would just have almost no use. Be done way too quickly.
Yeah, I think the Reaper, though, it's... there's so many instances where you analyze it, you're like, oh, this is such a good move, you know, the gas is late, the gas is early, do this, don't do that, but I think it just comes down to player preference more than anything else. There's some people who are just going to do 2 Reapers every time, no matter what. Some will do 3 regardless. But Frost can get away with whatever he can.
Wow, a 1-base Baneling?
Well, hang on. 1-base BattleNet, more like it.
Why is he a spectator? I think that's like what happened. That's where like Blizzard just like I don't know.
No, allegedly, I just checked Reddit prior to this game, like while we were on the break, and someone was complaining about drop hacks on NA server, but people were saying no, it's just laggy for everybody, so that may be very well the case here. I'm just wondering if like a recovered game would be different, because they host recovered games on different servers, I'm told. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard in the past, so if you like recovered the game, would it be different than like a regular BattleNet game? But okay, so you point out the 1-base Banelings. This is really interesting because you don't see a lot of Baneling busts anymore. This isn't... What?
Damn it, BattleNet.
I got no problem waiting because we're lagging. What's up?
I know, right? He didn't check that JonSnow was actually in the bottom left.
Yeah, he went to the natural and backed away, but I think he saw the Overlord, didn't he?
That could have been time to be from the bottom right.
Oh my god.
Potentially. Dude, we have to remake. Like, this is dumb.
Game paused.
I don't have ref to suggest, but should probably just recover the game. This would be super unfortunate, by the way, if this... I mean, I'm sure Copa America probably would have solutions, like go to a European server to play or something. Or, because I know, like, for example, when North American servers are down for maintenance, oftentimes tournaments will shift which servers played on. The thing is, it wouldn't be preferable for either player, because if you have to go to another server, it could affect your latency, maybe that affects the outcome of the game. But Major says it best, it's unplayable like this.
Yeah. No way he's microing against those Banelings.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's a different game, like the whatever server that this is on right now, obviously it's not working. Like, just rehost. Let's go somewhere else. Would be my best guess. I don't think they should go. I wish I had referees so I could say something. Like, I know the players are thinking it's okay, but I don't think this is going to be okay. This will probably, once again, in about 3 minutes, also start stuttering again. It's a little bit concerning. But if they're going to play it out, we'll see how it goes. For JonSnow, this may not last another 3 minutes, though. It really depends on this attack here. So Major did not confirm that there was something down here in the bottom left. I guess it is a little bit odd to see a lack of a hatchery, so he may just assume it's bottom right, but he's going back in for the scout to confirm. It's going to be a little too late, though. Bailing's already on the way, and quite frankly, what JonSnow needs to do here is not fight in the natural, not tear down this bunker, but instead bust through the depot at the top. Major senses something's up, though. I don't know how or why.
Oh, because he finally realized that he was in the bottom left and it's still on one base. He has the LCV scouting, so he's like, well, what else could it be?
Well, he's going to layer down walls behind this. The problem is when you layer down walls, there's... This is the worst time for this to kick in. This is so critically important.
Oh my god, please.
For both players. For both players, this is insanely important that this doesn't go down like this. Now, one of the big things for JonSnow, he's going to tear through the reactor right away. Like, that's obviously going to go down with the supply depot. But the thing is, only producing one Marine at a time is not going to cut it when there's a whole horde of speedlings right below this. So as long as he can break through these walls enough... And I think he's got enough Bailings to take down those two depots and the one freshly put down supply depot. Those links can flood through. Expert Terran analysis, Sambrigo, what do you think? The HP ratio to the Bailing damage.
What?
What do you think? He's going to bust through all these? New depot included? Oh, well, it already happened.
Yes.
I mean, like, I knew it was going to happen. I was just trying to fill the downtime. Thanks for being a co-caster. Jeez.
I think it's 6 to a supply depot, so I believe you had 8 right there.
Oh my god, all these SCVs are so low from that Bailing hit. Major's just going to GG, though.
That was
JonSnow.
God, that was so weird. It's just like, okay, I'm waiting. Okay, go. Okay, GG.
Yeah, well, he pays him back for the cheese in game 1, gets even, gets some revenge, and now we'll have one final game, essentially turning this series into a best of 1 to determine who's going to come first in this group stage.